Hey everybody, Chuck Peterson here, yoga instructor and founder of Yogi Chuck Insurance Services. And I'm here today to tell you 3 success principles that I use to live my best, most vibrant life. I put these principles into play to achieve more and be a high performer. The first principle is you've got to have a strong core. Everything comes from the core. So as a yoga instructor, I'm going to demo here Navasana or boat pose. And you can see you've really got to have your core engaged in order to make this pose work. Your shoulders are back, you're really focused on your alignment, your feet are engaged. And the reason I say this is to get a strong core, the best thing I've found is to work on yoga, specifically this type of yoga where you really have to engage your core. And working with yoga and meditation, that modality has really allowed me to tap in to my core, which has been more of a metaphor for life, not just a strong core in the physical sense, but in the sense that when life gets a little more challenging, you don't get knocked around, your core engages, and everything else just gets a little bit easier. So that's why I say you've got to have a strong core. Yoga and meditation have also allowed me to get a lot of energy. I'm more focused, I'm more alive, I'm more vibrant, and I have a lot more balance in my life because I'm not overworked, burned out, and numbed out. They say on average we take about 17,000 breaths per day. And honestly, how many of those are you truly, completely present for? In my experience, once I got healthy, there really are no ordinary moments in life. So you want to value each and every one of those 17,000 breaths. And that leads me to the point about being present. You really have to be present and enjoy every moment, because that really is our life when it comes down to it. And you also need to be true to yourself. And yoga and meditation have taught me that the truer you are to your authentic, real self, the better you are in life and the better you're going to be with those around you as a beacon of light. So, having said that, that takes me to step number 2, which is my success principle. And for this one, we've got to demo it because we've just built up that strong core and now we need to work it. So for this, we're going to get into the theory of living courageously, stretching our comfort zone, and playing or living our true edge. So for that, as you can see, you've got to be present, you've got to have a strong core, and you've got to engage it in every aspect of your life. So, as you stretch that comfort zone, as you can just see, that took a lot of practice. But through repeated exposure of stretching myself, day by day, I was able to grow as a person and get a stronger core from that. And I think that's when we're really alive. So, Brendan Burchard of High Performance Academy, and if you haven't checked out Brendan's work, please check it out. highperformanceacademy.com and expertsacademy.com. Brendan says that we're most alive in his new book, The Charge, when we really challenge ourselves and there's something worth fighting for. It's almost like his metaphor in the book, Life's Golden Ticket, when you're in the lion cage and the lion's coming down on you, and you can't find that that intestinal fortitude until there's somebody on the other side that's worth fighting for. So in this case, it was his girlfriend, and there was an image put in there. And as soon as the lions came to attack her, man, he came right to life, came over there and defended her because he had something worth fighting for. So for the better part of 10 years, personally, I went through a lot of anxiety, depression, and I was physically, emotionally, and spiritually bankrupt. I was burned out, numbed out, and life was dull. And it wasn't until I finally faced my fears and sat with them and struggled and made the commitment that I wasn't going to be a victim but be a victor that I came out the other side. So, that struggle really made it worth it. And that's the thing. We realize that we don't think we can face our darkest fears. But the truth is, we can. And if we sit with them and we stretch our comfort zone and really live our edge courageously, then we will be able to face those and we'll come out the other side and we'll enjoy the struggle because it leads to the success. Part of that too is what I like to say, ordinary versus extraordinary. And that little difference of the word extra is the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary. And that was taught to me by a guy named Bear Grylls, who you've seen on Man vs. Wild all over TV and countless others who have said it. But it's just that little bit, how much more are you willing to work? That little word extra that differentiates somebody who's ordinary or just average from extraordinary. And And I think we all have that ability inside of us. And again, that goes back to my metaphor for life, which is you have to face your fears. And when you fall down, you just get back up and laugh. You don't have to take life that seriously. So every day, lesson number 2, try new things that stretch you and that you learn from. The rest of your life just becomes that much easier and that much more fun. For me right now, that's shooting this video, and being vulnerable and putting my material out there because Brendan challenged us to do that. That's trying to make myself into an author that's published, maybe a New York Times bestseller, Amazon bestseller, a motivational speaker, trying new things like scuba diving or skydiving, or whatever that is for you that stretches your comfort zone. Maybe it's as simple as spending time with your kids or more quality time with your loved ones and being really present and vibrant for that. And that's not always easy. Sometimes the simplest things are the ones that take the most courage. So that leads me to success tip number 3, which is no expectations, best results. This I got from one of my friends in Italy, Franz, who's a dear friend. And while I spent 3 months over there in a Tuscan villa in Tuscany, in the Chianti region, Franz and I, we were talking about this, and it's really a metaphor for life, to not get attached to the outcome, to really, like in step 2, to really live courageously and play your edge, but not to get attached to the outcome. So you do your best, that's a given. You're not content, you do everything you can, the best you can, but then the results, whatever happens, happens. You just do your best. So you do give yourself that little bit of extra of stretching, but you don't worry if the result isn't the most perfect video that you outlined. You just put it out there and you continue to grow and evolve. And part of that is just to have fun. To be in balance, you have to have fun in life. And you have to laugh at yourself. Life is too important to take seriously, a good friend of mine said. So this metaphor, no expectations, best results, allows you to always be in awe, inspired, and happier in your life because you're not conditioned to expect a certain outcome, which is great. It also allows you to follow your bliss, to keep a positive attitude. And part of this, in my experience, is no matter what happens, don't ever close down, don't ever shut down. Just like in yoga where we talk about pranayama and breathing and really remaining open, you don't close down. You don't do this. As soon as you do that, you're kind of fading and you're not vibrant and you can't breathe. But the minute you do this, you're confident, you're stretching yourself, you're remaining positive, and no matter what, you want to continue to love openly. No matter how many people question what you're doing or try to put you down, you're really there. And you're not worried about the outcome because you've given it your best. And you kind of let that take care of itself over time. So, to recap, our top 3 lessons for success are, number 1, maintain a strong core in every aspect of your life. So not just on the mat, in Navasana, and in your practice, but throughout your life, because that will guide you as you move forward. And that will be just a metaphor of, hey, when you fall down, it's okay. And when things don't go as well as you expected to, that's okay, because you come back to that strong, basic core that will give you the strength to go through your darkest challenges. Number 2, we're not going to handstand again right now because of the video, but to really play your edge and stretch yourself and really live courageously and grow each and every day. And number 3, no expectations, best results. Kind of speaks for itself, but let go of that attachment and really just live fully. And as Brendan says, love openly so that you can really be your true self and not be worried about being perfect, which I've struck from my vocabulary. It's kind of what helped lead me to those years of anxiety, was trying to be perfect, trying to be a perfectionist. And it's really a terrible word because when you get caught up on the idea of being perfect, it creates a lot of expectations, and it doesn't really serve you in your life. So, my challenge to you is to try to incorporate these 3 principles into your life and really stretch yourself every day so that you, day by day, push yourself that much more and get comfortable being outside of your comfort zone. And with that, and with a strong core, you'll be able to tackle any challenge. So I'd love to hear from you about your success principles, so please post a comment below this video and check it out. Until next time, keep a strong core, play and stretch your edge every day, and remember, no expectations, best results. Namaste.